Welcome to this Overlord podcast of Season 3, Episode 3. I am Demiurge's humble servant, and today with me are two new people.
Yeah, my name is Humpro. I'm usually the editor of the podcast, but now somehow I ended up being a guest.
And hello, I'm Solo. I'm a casual fan, and I happen to be a guest on this show today. And I have to give you a spoiler warning because, as the other episodes, this one also contains some spoilers.
So make sure you watch the episode 3 before watching this podcast. And I guess we could lead into some of the stuff then. So I want to start out with the scene where Agu is in the middle of the house shed part, and they're talking about the Monument of Ruin. So I think it's a bit obvious, but what do you think the Monument of Ruin is, Meep Meep?
Well, as anime only, it's a bit hard if you don't remember Season 2. I mean, Season 2 is back in May and June, so it's not that far away, but you may remember that scene with Aura and Episode 5, I think? Was it Episode 5?
I'm not really sure, but yeah, the one where she, the building part, right?
Yeah, where Aura was building the Monument of Ruin, so it's like a fake Nazarick. It's maybe explained better in the light novel.
Yeah, I don't think they even mention it's the Monument of Ruin, but from the light novel and the anime as well is hinting, after everything that happened in Season 1, the Shell tier, they were building this fake Nazarick to draw out the enemies. That was the entire thing for Season 2. But then in Season 3, this stuff is happening, and Agu is the Monument of Ruin, evil undead, controlling other undead, and stuff like that. And the entire forest is scared of them in a way, and shit's happening because of that.
So, Agu, is he actually an orc? Or what is his race? Who is he? Where does he come from?
Definitely not really an orc. I think he's a goblin as well, just a different, tribe, I guess. What do you think, Solo?
I think it's just, he's a goblin, but he's a different race, a different tribe, where they have different kind of colors, just like in real life, when you travel around from different places to places. People look a little bit different, but they are still the same.
Right. So Solo, you remember the Lizardmen, right?
Yes, the Lizardmen.
I was wondering if you like the Lizardmen more than the Goblins, or do you prefer the Goblins?
So far, I prefer the Lizardmen over the Goblins because I found that I could relate more to them, or they had more to give in a story of themselves. Instead of the Goblins, we haven't really gotten to learn that much or see that much yet, so I can't say for sure that I will enjoy the Lizardmen more in the long run, but so far I'm more fan of the Lizardmen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of them have actually good stories coming up in light novels, so it's hard to choose really the one you would like more, in my opinion. At least the goblins, the ones that are following Enri, those are quite interesting because they all have this character between themselves, they all want to impress Enri. They're all different classes as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, talking about Enri, so when we first meet her, it's Season 1, Episode 2?
Yeah, 2 or 3, I don't remember, but yeah.
2 or 3, And she's this little villager girl that gets saved by Ainz, who teleported through a gate and used his grasp heart. So, what is the question of this? What is happening to Enri? Why does she change so much? What change does she undergo?
Oh, I feel like the main difference why she has changed as a character is that now she's placed in a role where she have to be the mom and dad of her little sister, and she takes that really seriously, and she has matured into a pretty good character who have a lot to offer to the village and the story in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with the parent loss. I think losing her parents kind of changed her, and then the part that was never covered neither in the light novel nor the anime is that she actually used the horn, so now she has to take care of even more goblins, and it's a weird thing, and she just all of this stuff happening, I think that's what's changing her, honestly.
For sure.
Ah, shit, I forgot what I wanted to ask.
Stuff like that happens.
I remember now. You have to edit this out though.
I'm not editing stuff like that out. Let's continue.
Yeah. So, can you, what's the word? Fuck. Can you compare Demiurge's passive, where he commanded the Lizardman to bow down to follow his orders? Can you compare this passive with Enry?
I'm not really sure about this one, because Demiurge's, if I recall, comes from him being a demon, so that's one of like the skill, the commanding, while Enry is more like based on the leveling system. It's more like coming from her actually having to do it like non-stop, and like the horn, I think, is also a big influence on that, like giving her powers to control the goblins. You saw that in episode 2 where she says like bow, like not bow but duck, and everyone just automatically ducks, no questions asked. Like just notables of stuff that I actually skimmed through the light novel and I couldn't find stuff like that really mentioned in the light novel, so it's something more coming through the anime, which is actually interesting. But yeah, what do you think, Solo?
I think that the horn have a big deal to say according to this newfound power that she have. Like, the horn in itself, I think, triggered her potential of becoming a good leader who lesser creatures acknowledge as powerful and will listen to without hesitation. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, surely. I want to give a clap to Studio Madhouse generally for this episode. I mean, not everybody likes Enry, but I personally enjoy Enry's story more than Climb and Brain. That's my personal preference. So
I'll have to agree with that.
Same. I just agree with that.
Honestly, the Climb and I forgot his name fully. Or
Brain.
I know it starts with a Unglus, yeah. The thing with their story, I really followed it because Sebas is one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
So that's why I just like, Sebas! Yeah, let's go!
Hell yeah.
So that's why I followed them. But then Enry, going through the light novel, it wasn't the most interesting light novel, in my opinion, but reading through it and now seeing stuff actually happening, it's a lot more interesting to see it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, most people still think that this episode was a filler episode.
Yeah.
And one must really say that this is not the case.
Let's be honest, after the Lizardmen arc, it might seem like a filler episode, but she, like Enry, in my opinion, is an important character for like the entire storyline, in a way. Like Carne Village is an important thing.
Yeah, it was Ainz's first village, first experience. He's very grateful.
His first action in this new world.
Yeah.
So we got the Monument of Ruin out of the way, thinking, well, interpreting that it's actually like the thing they're building. So it's Ainz and Aura. So another character that came in there, in the house, honestly, is Lupusregina, right? So what do you know about her?
Not much. The only thing that I've seen from her is that she's a maid that serves Ainz. She's loyal. And she also seems to be a werewolf, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
This is only hinted at the episode. I mean, I'm not purely an anime only, because I'm at Overlord Discord and I see spoilers around since light novel readers have read until volume 13. I knew who Lupusregina was, but looking back at this episode, it was really confusing who she actually is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to go over her character. If you wouldn't know that she's a werewolf, and that's a spoiler, it would be hard to especially go over the ending scene, where Lupusregina just like double personality really shows off, which this is gonna go over in later episodes, so we're gonna cover that later more. But yeah, so she's a powerful maid.
Well, every one of the Pleiades is a powerful maid.
Yes, that is true.
So, in this episode, two maids actually, had their great entrance. One was Lupusregina, and the other one was the maid who is probably even more adored than the werewolf. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Wait, was it Solution? Or which
No.
one? Like, I'm trying to remember which one of the maids was in the ending.
Oh, wait, there was actually 3. So I'm talking about Narberal, Gamma.
Oh, yeah.
The Nabe adventurer girl.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to know she's a maid if you don't really see her in the maid outfit too much.
Yeah,
Honestly, I
that's
don't think we saw her in the maid outfit in, like, season 2 as well.
We did see her in the maid outfit when she was fighting the 2 skeleton dragons. Then she
Yeah, but that was
transferred.
season 1. Season
This
2,
is
she
season
was
1.
all full-time adventurer in that kind of way.
That's true,
Yeah.
that's true. But we do know that
So-
she's a maid.
She comes
Yeah.
back. In
So
this
many
episode.
maids.
She comes back, and we always knew that Narberal is, well, I don't even know if you can call her arrogant, but she's looking down at people.
Yeah,
like
she
these
is.
inferior beings, the flies who dare to look upon Momonga-sama.
Everyone who's not part of the Nazarick are just
Yeah,
trash.
everyone who's not part of Nazarick. And in this scene, she jumps on Enry's cart, and I love how she starts her like dialogue with "fly,"
Yeah.
because you don't really get the meaning with the first time. I had to read the subtitles twice to understand what she's referring to. So you light novel readers, how did the this scene play out?
I remember
in
it quite
the light
well.
novel?
And it's also something that missed out. The light novel had a bit more of Momonga action, like, around there. While the anime only glimpsed over it when she was, like, in that scene where the horn and the appraisal happened and everyone got really suspicious. But I really loved how, like, off guard she actually got when Enri just gave her a compliment.
Yeah,
it was the funniest
cute.
thing ever. It's like, thanks, in a way.
Yeah.
It's rare to see Navi like that. So, yeah.
So later we see Momo Ex Machina, I called it, because that scene was strange. Like when she was questioned about the horn.
Yeah.
I don't know, are there more explanations in the light novel?
Well, honestly, the first thing she was like, it's usual thing that they get like search, all the wagons, but because Momon is like adamantine adventure and everything, he's just so like high ranked. So Enri was just getting questioned, and she's not lying with anything she's really saying, but then everyone is just like thinking she's a bad terrorist in a way because she could just blow their horn, get a lot of goblins in the city, and just basically kill anyone at her desire in a way until adventurers stop it. So they're really scared of her, and like a village girl having these items and unbelievable things, because Carne Village is the first one that they live with goblins and ogres as well now, like in peace, I guess. So it's something they don't really know and expect or feel for it. So I don't remember it getting covered a bit more in the light novel. Do you know anything, Solo?
No, I haven't gotten that far in the light novel, so the anime is as far as I have gotten in the story. What I loved about that scene is how confused or kind of scared the guards looked when Momon came in and just dragged away their magic caster leader. Just their
come with me.
expressions just amazing, just how dumbfounded they are about seeing Momon.
I'm trying to remember whether the conversation that they had is actually in the light novel, but I'm not 100% certain.
Well, it was just like the come out, my friend. I have to talk with you about something very important. And he's like the big maker, but when he comes back, he's just a sad little.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he is, but he's an inferior being.
Yeah.
Scared.
That's
and-
Momon for you. But
Yeah.
it's just so interesting to see how Momon just became like this real like respect part of everything. And I got really like interested with the scene where Momon remembers the name of her, but then she's
Yeah.
like, "How does he know my name?"
I haven't told you my name. And then Momon goes into this panic state where it's thinking.
Yeah,
thousands-
I know, because like I spy on them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Demiurge would have said something like Sasuga ein Sama. Everything goes according to plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so later, Enri is fearing that Carne village might be attacked. So she goes to the Adventurers Guild and wants to know if any adventurer can help her.
Yeah, but they instantly go for like, oh, you will need an Adamantine class adventurer. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
Be the best of the best.
But there are not many adventurers who are Adamantite, right?
Yeah, I think they're the only ones in the city.
Haha, lol.
Isn't there only
Well,
seven?
we know what this is going to be.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that from the scene, maybe not a lot of people get put too much thought to it, but you actually learn about the mechanics of adventure guilds a bit more. Since how they're we only for bigger requests, how Enry asks I heard you cover costs for this, and they're we only cover half, and stuff like that. So we learn something a bit more about the entire structure of the Adventurers Guild, which is interesting in my part. But it's more side information that you can just gather from the episode.
So, Solo, you already mentioned that you think you remember that Lupusregina is a werewolf, right?
Yeah.
Did she have any involvement in that scene, or because you see this short seconds where something is in a sideway when this Adventurers Guild receptionist is suddenly all interested in this request, and how did you get this scene?
Oh, I saw or why she got all this suddenly attention and suddenly they wanted to help her. I saw that as...
Did you understand it?
I felt like Momon was always watching over her, sending Nabe, sending Hamsuke in the shadows. He was always around her, making sure she was safe and she got the best treatment possible. So I feel like Momon was just in the shadows constantly pulling in strings with his adamant class rank and just helping her as good as he can.
Well, here's where I can actually help out a bit, because the light novel covered this a lot more. Oh. So if I remember fully correctly, because I did read this quite a while back, but Hamsuki was there because Momon was there. There's a back room. It's gonna get covered more later on in other scenes. But overall, there's a back room, and he talked to Adventurers Guild's head, and he was interested in what she had to say, and that's why she's I need to get information, because Momon is there in the back room, and that's why everything got so well. It's because Momon again. So yeah, that's something
cool.
that's something that the anime doesn't show, but it's actually there, and it's just giving hints with Hamsuki being there, because Hamsuki is basically Beaumont's mount,
Yeah.
Well, maybe they will cover it later, somehow. Who knows?
I think it's just something they decided to skip because they just can't, have that much content in the anime.
True. Screening time, money, budget, everything. Sad.
We can't get everything.
Yeah. So, Lupusregina was making 2 jokes in this episode. There was this Enry and Goblin jokes. Yeah. And the second one was this, don't rape me, or was it I'm getting raped or something?
Yeah, those jokes, yeah.
Did you think that it was funny?
No.
Not at all. I just
Okay,
we can laugh about it now, but...
Yeah.
Imagine just everyone looking from the side, especially if there were any goblins or something. They all know, Lupus is this...
Strong.
OP, person, strong, keep away. And she's no, I'm getting, raped, basically, or something. It was, so... It's not
Out of
funny,
the blue.
but funny. Yeah.
Takes you
The jokes
off
are
guard.
unoriginal. Yeah.
So, is that fun for Lupu? Is that her, second side, or... I don't understand this character.
Yeah, that's her personality going around doing bad jokes. Plus, not everyone is born with that. But just comes to show that if she needed to, show, oh, I'm a, poorless maid, ever in life, she can actually pull off the act pretty well, and get someone in trouble.
Are we told anywhere in the light novel that she's actually this way or created that way? Or is that something she have gotten later on into the new world where some of the characters change?
The character changes are really, small, honestly. So I guess it's something that was created into her. But since, in the game, you don't really get to feel a character just for role-playing needs. Here it's actually going through and it's noticeable. And it's going to get covered more in future episodes, I'm quite sure.
Oh.
Especially with one scene, so I don't want to get into it too much, since it's content for another episode.
Yeah, I really like the way Lupusregina was presented to us. I mean, the voice acting was surely very hard.
Yeah.
From going all bloomy, all joyful, to suddenly deep, serious. And the way it was drawn. Generally, I feel that Season 3 has way more money put in it. It's a bit sad for me personally, since Season 2 was Demiurge, Jaldabaoth, my favorite arcs, you know. But, so from all 3 episodes, which one did you prefer the most until now?
The upcoming ones.
Oh.
Honestly, the 3 novels for this season, 2 of them are probably my favorite novels so far. Like like Magicaster of Destroy, one of the novels that's gonna get covered. I can't wait for that. And also the Invaders of the Lost Tomb novels. Those are getting covered in this season, so I just can't wait. So that's why I'm saying upcoming. And
Solo,
what about
what
you,
do
Solo?
think?
For me, so far it's episode 3 that's the most interesting, because we get to learn a lot more about Carne Village and everything around there instead of what previously we've gone through. So far it's episode 3, that's my favorite.
You mentioned that you didn't read the novel so far, right?
Yes.
So you don't know what's coming up for the next episode.
I have no clue, and I'm really excited.
So then I can at least tell you that it's gonna be a really interesting episode for you if you like Carne Village.
Yeah.
I'm looking really forward to it.
I really, really, really am happy that finally Yuri Alpha, like the top sister of the Pleiades, was also covered in the past credits scene, where Lupusregina and Yuri are flying over Carne Village, because she's a mate that doesn't get much love and attention.
Yeah, that is true.
You know her?
She doesn't get covered much, only really later on in the entire story. So it's interesting to see her. But overall, I've only recently kind of learned that there were post-credit scenes in these episodes. So I usually just now went down and rewatched all post-credit scenes to actually see what happens around there, you know?
Well, I have
Rest
something
in
to do
peace.
then.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, we did actually forget to cover one part, which is the giant, the serpent, and the beast.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of skimmed through that part. So, just quickly going back, these are the same conversation with Agu, where he went about the Monument of Ruin we already covered. So he also mentioned that the giant, the serpent, and the beast, those are the 3 kind of, let's say, bosses, big guys of the forest. I think it's called the Forest of Tom, if I recall correctly. But yeah, so the beast, which we kind of know that the wise king, of the forest, which is Hamsuki, just a big giant hamster, So we kind of expected the other ones to be these big guys, having an army and stuff. It should be interesting, and I think we will see more about that later on as well. So it's going to be interesting to see. But what do you guys think are these 2 creatures?
Well, we don't know who they are.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I just hope it will be epic when they clash.
Yeah, but Studio Madhouse was doing a great job. I expect just the best of the best. If you mix Demiurge in there, then it will be just the creme de la creme. But that's... yeah. I can't expect him to be in every episode, sadly.
Oh, you wish! Demiurge's humble servant.
Yes, I wish. Every day. Every Tuesday, especially.
Tuesday. Fingers crossed, Demiurge in the episode!
Yeah.
But what
Okay,
surprised
so-
me about the new upset in the forest is that I thought Ains would take the beast like Hamsuke's role in the forest and do what he usually did, so that it wouldn't be an upset in the forest. But
Knowing Ains, he's just gonna take the entire forest.
yeah, but getting a little bit of information about what he have done, or if he's just trying to take over everything in the forest as well, or if he's failed to stay true to the task of just doing the beast's job in the forest, since he apparently have gone way too far out. Is there anything about that in the light novel, or is it just a minute
Yeah,
ago.
thinking back now about it, actually, I should have mentioned that when we were talking about the scenes. So the reason Momonga was so surprised to see Enri, and then that's why he followed her, sent Nabi, and also went to the Adventurers Guild to figure stuff out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there was one scene where when Nabi came back and told, Momonga, Ainz, what she learned, and she just said, she's gonna go to the Adventurers Guild to ask for some help. And Momonga's like, what the hell? Why didn't you ask for more info? This is not enough. And Nabi's like, sorry. She doesn't think about that. That's why, Momonga was in the Adventurers Guild to figure out what the hell Enri came there for. So as well, and you're gonna learn in future episodes as well about this more. So I'm not gonna go too much into it. But you will see, Ainz was interested why, they go for the Adventurers Guild, and not just go straight to Ainz, who's basically their protector.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lupusregina, as well. Stuff like this is happening. So I don't want to go into too many spoilers, but there's going to be a scene about this, entire thing that's going to happen here. So yeah,
I'm
this is
surely
basically
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping it's going to be an epic episode, because I know the stuff that should be happening, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Good, then I think we have covered everything up.
Yeah, I think we got pretty much everything around. One more thing we could talk about is maybe just Lupusregina, the conversation that Enri had with Lupusregina, after the joke, because Enri, the big part of this episode is that Enri, when she came back, she gave all of that, the equipment to goblins. They got really happy. They never really expect, having that, a human really care for them. Especially when she was talking to Nefiria, right? Remember when Nefiria said, you should be chief because, the goblins respect you? Because no one else in the city calls them, in the Carne village, calls them by the name, What do you think of that scene, first of all?
Strange scene. She's still going after this. I'm just a village girl. I don't deserve to be a chef, not a chef, but a boss.
A chef. Chef.
Yeah, chef
well,
is
she's
the one who's
cooking a lot.
Well, maybe she's cooking, we don't know. We don't see that.
We
In
do
the
see
anime?
her cook for the goblins, the soup, remember? She cooked the soup, she was making food, she blunted the knife as well. That's
Yeah,
why
so
that's
she's a
why the
chef as
entire
well.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought, I wanted to say boss, like the leader.
Yeah.
Oh god, English is such a hard language sometimes. Personally, I think that Maruyama, the writer of the light novel, missed some character development on Enfiria. Since in season 1 he was captured by Clementine and he went through a lot of bad stuff, but he has no trauma. I like traumatized people in anime.
Dude, sorry, Ainz removed information from, he did mind altering so he wouldn't remember that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
I thought he
doesn't
said
remember.
that as well when he was removing the
It was in
crown
the
from
anime
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have to rewatch season 1.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm sorry then. Yeah.
So
So,
all these
I-
conversations. Yeah.
I still don't like Enfiria. He looks better on fan art as well, just saying.
The long hair really doesn't suit him.
The what?
The long hair.
Ah, the long hair. Well, in fan art it looks pretty good. I have to give them, the artist, that. So,
Yeah.
Solo, your opinion.
My opinion is that she just showed that she had matured so much and have accepted everything, every living creature as long as they mean no harm. She have a good heart and she will be an excellent leader for this tribe.
Yeah, she will truly be.
Yeah. Since we're still on the topic of Nefiria, what do you guys know about the job that Ainz actually gave Nefiria about the potion stuff? Since their new potion introduction and everything. And he actually handed the potion to Lupus to give to Ainz.
Whew.
I think the quest he was given was to find a way to maintain the storage of potions in Nazarick. And to get as close as the original Yggdrasil potions as possible. I think that's the main task he was given, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but you're almost dead on. he was given the task to basically Ainz needs a way to replicate Yggdrasil potions because there's no way to get them in the world anymore.
Well, the interesting question would be why he needs them, because like the NPCs, the Guardians, they don't need potions, right?
Yeah, but he's a hoarder. He likes to have like everything he would ever need in this like Tomb of Nazarick. The gold, the stuff, everything.
Yeah, I would still think about the possibility that he might need them for the farm, for Demiurge, because you may know that Demiurge is taking healing potions for his guests on the farm. Just want to throw this possibility in because you may think that Ainz isn't evil.
Ainz doesn't know about it. He just thinks it's chimeras, you know.
Yeah.
It's always this question: is Ainz evil? And
is he?
I won't go into this topic because you can talk about it over and over and over again. Yeah. But I just want to mention that he might ask Carne Village to help with the scroll making on the farm. And they don't even know about it.
Yeah, sure, Ainz, anything for you. Ah, my skin!
Happy farm.
Yeah,
everyone
actually,
is happy.
If people really want to know, the main differences between the light novel and anime is that just the light novel has either more scenes or more like technical information on stuff. Like, I don't think it ever got mentioned in the anime, but like potions of healing and healing like magic works kind of differently. So, especially with like how restoring skin and stuff works, because some actually remove the skin, like the skin that was removed gets destroyed, the other way it's actually duplicating, you know. So it's these like small differences that get actually mentioned in the light novel, while on here, on the anime, stuff like that doesn't just go through the episode, you know.
It's is it PG-12? I think so. So, no brutality. Read the light novel if you want to know more.
How can it be no brutality? There's already been so many fighting scenes and blood scenes, and there's so many upcoming bloodbaths. Oh, my brain hurts.
Well, it is how it is.
Well, yeah.
So, we're finished, right?
Anything to add, anyone?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So yeah,
okay.
As always, we invite you to join the Overlord Discord. That's probably going to be in the link in the video description. Remember to read the rules, join the nation, and hey, you can, if you see us, you can message us, maybe give us more ideas for the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for joining in. Hope to see you next week, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.